Our new neighbor was a little bit strange, but then, aren't we all a bit strange? My wife and I wanted to make him feel welcome to the neighborhood, so we rolled out the welcome wagon and invited him over for dinner. He was quiet, but polite. From what he said, he lived alone, and due to the nature of his work, he had to move quite often. I nodded. I know what that feels like. Before I met my wife, I was in the military. Never stayed in one place too long. But now, I could never think of moving. I took a drink from my cup and continued. Neither of us would. I turned to my wife and laughed. She had said the last part the exact same time I had. 2 peas in a pod, I quipped. Some people seem to think we're the same person, I laughed again. My wife nodded in agreement. Our neighbor's eyes seemed to light up at that. Maybe he was warming up to us. He had a small duffel bag at his feet. He opened it up and pulled out a container and placed it on the table. Cookies, he said, for the meal. He smiled uncomfortably. I opened it up and took one out. So did my wife. We didn't want to be rude. First impressions are the ones that stay with you. So we ate our cookies and got back to the meal. He held his glass up in a toast to us, and a little smile seemed to be behind his eyes. The cookies weren't too terrible. A bit dry, but all in all better than I expected from my strange little guest. I looked over at my wife and my head, it began to spin. I felt odd. She fell forward and passed out, head on the table. I followed soon after. I don't know how long I was out, but the room was dark when I woke, lit only by a hanging light bulb in the middle of the room. My head, it was killing me, but not just my head, my whole body, I moaned. Our neighbor stepped out of the shadows. He looked me up and down and smiled, taking off his bloody gloves. Magnificent, he said at last. My best work yet. I looked at the gloves, the blood. What have you done to me? To my wife, I demanded. He smiled again. Well, you said you two were like one person, so I simply did just that. Now you are one person. He held up a mirror. I gasped in horror. My wife, he had grafted our bodies. Her face came out of the back of my head. Her body seemed to grow from my back, held together by crude stitches. She opened her eyes and screamed. Or was it me screaming? I couldn't tell anymore.